Hello, today I'm going to talk about forgiveness. I'm also going to talk about being responsible for my own actions and not responsible for the actions of others, but for myself. So I was on a ski trip with some co-workers. We're in my motorhome. We were in Santa Fe, New Mexico, up on the mountain. I thought I'd call the office just to see how things are going. The president of our company answered the phone. I said, "How's it going?" He said, "We got a problem." When you're on vacation, you probably shouldn't call the office, but I did, and so I said, "What's the problem?" He says, "We got one of our employees that's stealing." I said, "Really? How bad is it?" He said, "It's over $140,000. $140,000 is a lot of money, especially for a business that is trying to make it every day of the time. Most businesses don't succeed. And one of the reasons why a lot of businesses don't succeed is they don't have really good, accurate accounting. So accurate accounting is very, very important. So I said, "Are you sure?" I said, "Who is it?" And he said, "Well," and he told me it was one of the guys that I was on the ski trip with. Now, I had known this guy for several years. I really trusted him. We went on family vacations together. He brought his children, and we went to all kinds of different places. We went on snow skiing trips. We went different places throughout the United States. We actually spent vacations together. And so I was really shocked. I said, "Are you sure?" He said, "I'm almost sure, 100%. I said, "I want you to double check, and tomorrow I'll call you." So through the evening, I didn't say anything to my friend. And the next morning I called and I asked the president of our company, was he right? And he said, no, he'd made a mistake. I said, "What do you mean?" He said he was wrong. I said, "Whew." And he said, "It's not $140,000, it's more like $200,000 that he's stolen. And we're not even sure we're still counting, it's probably going to be a lot more than that." It turned out to be over $450,000 that he stole from us. Wow, $450,000. He's supposed to be a friend, a coworker. And so we had some discussion, and I asked him I confronted him right there on the ski lift. I asked him about it, and he said, yeah, he admitted that he'd been stealing. Oh, wow. You know, and he kind of told me a story of how it happened, you know, a little bit at first, and then he needed a little bit more money, and then it just kind of snowballed. Over 3 or 4 years, he'd stole over $450,000. Well, of course, I prosecuted, turned it over to the police. They turned it over to the federal government, and he went to federal prison. He got a 32-month sentence in prison. And while he was there, one of the big things is that we hire people that need another chance. Now, this guy brought it home. I mean, he stole from us. He stole from me and my family and everybody that works here. And so one of the things I wanted to do was I wanted to offer him a job when he got out of prison. So I went down to the halfway house to meet with him to see if there was any kind of remorse and see what kind of path he was on, if he was on a direction that he no longer wanted to be a thief, but he wanted to be a great citizen. And so I did want a little bit of remorse. I wanted him to say he was sorry, you know. I said, "What do you think?" He said, "Well, the food here sucks." And I said, no, I mean, what do you think about what happened, you know? And I finally, after 5 minutes of getting kind of frustrated with him never saying he was sorry for stealing, I finally said, "Are you sorry for stealing?" He said, "Yeah, I guess." I think he was sorry he got caught. But anyway, he finally said it, so I said, "Here's what I want to do. I want to offer you a job at our company. I want you to come back to work, and you can work your way up, and I'll support you. I want you to make it. I want you to be successful. But there's one thing, you can't steal anymore." So he came back to work for the company, and there was a lot of apprehension by some of the leaders in our company that I would give this guy a chance because he had stolen from us. Really affected whether or not the company would stay in business. And I said, let's give him a chance. I mean, we need to give another chance. And so we said, the one thing you can't do is you cannot steal. You cannot steal anything. You can't play any games with the system. You got to do things legitimately. Okay. And so a couple of weeks after he started stealing again. He started stealing again after a couple of weeks. And so, you know, there's no question I needed to fire him immediately. I didn't need the stealing to go on. And so we got in the car, and I was taking him back down to the halfway house, back to the prison halfway house. And on the way down there, I gave him a couple $100 because I don't think he'd even got his first paycheck yet. And on the way down there, I remembered a friend of mine that owns his own business, but his ethics are kind of questionable. And I called him up and I said, "Hey, look, you know so-and-so that works for me?" "Yeah." "Well, I'm not going to be able to keep him. He started stealing from me again, but he needs a job. Would you hire him?" And he said, "Sure, bring him over." So he gave him a job, and he worked there for 6 or 7 or 8 months before he had to leave there too, for whatever reason. I'm not sure why. But if we would have had systems, better systems in place, we would have known that we were being ripped off over a period of 3 or 4 years. I should have been more responsible with the accounting department to really have checks and balances. One of the things we want to do as an employer is we want to set up systems to keep the honest people honest and to catch the dishonest people. And then when we catch someone that's dishonest, we want to help them to move to a more honest way. It's so important to be honest. Now, I lie, you lie, everybody lies. I imagine even the Pope lies. But everybody lies to some degree. And the deal is to minimize the lies that we do, to live within our own values, to be the kind of man or woman that we want to be. I forgave that guy for ripping me off. I don't have any hard feelings at all. The other day I was in a restaurant, Macaroni Grill here in Oklahoma City, and I walked in and there he was at a table with a whole bunch of people. And I walked up to him, he stood up and we hugged. I don't have any hatred towards this guy. I have a hatred towards the behavior, but not towards the person. I forgive the person, I love the person, I respect the person. I do not forgive the act, the behavior, I do not respect the behavior, and I do not love the behavior. But I love the person and I respect the person. So life is not always easy. We're always learning. I believe that life is a test, it's a trust, and it's temporary. So how am I becoming more the person I want to be today? Winners take action. Thank you for liking this video, and I hope you have a super day. Be sure to like this video. We really need you to like the video. That lets us know if we're on the right track. And also, if you haven't subscribed yet, please go ahead and subscribe. There are over 79 other videos that I've put together to help us to become successful. Success is achieving worthwhile goals, to help you to achieve the goals that you want to have in life.